What's happening? Andy here. I'm joined today by Marc Theaman of Toshiba. How are you, Marc?
I'm doing well, Andy. Thank you. How are you?
I am great. What's happening? You're down in Florida. Tell me about what you do for Toshiba, and then we're going to get into some of the stuff that you're working on.
Well, Andy, I am the director of programs and partner management, and that's a long title, but what I'm really focused on is our thermal barcode printer business.
We saw you at the BTA, I think it was the Orlando BTA, and that's when you and I had a conversation and put this call together. I love coming around to the BTA booths, the tables during the product fair, the exposition, because you see what everybody does, you see some new products, and it's funny because I always see Toshiba there, and I think of Toshiba as Toshiba A3 and copiers, printers, and they go back a million years. But that hasn't been what they've been talking about at this show. You actually have been recruiting. You had a specific product there, and so why don't we kind of let you take it and tell me what you do for this group and why we're talking today. What was it about that chat?
Yeah, so that BTA spring break show kind of kicked off our whole launch into the BTA dealer channel with our thermal program. And our thermal barcode machines, we demonstrated one there. We had 20 dealers come up and talk to us, and all 20 asked for a follow-up meeting to get into the thermal conversation a little deeper. We're actually in the process of signing up a few as we speak right now.
So thermal, it's a peripheral. It's not the first thing people think of when they think of Toshiba, right? So let's dig into this. It's a technology you guys, I believe you acquired a few years ago, and it just sort of fits right into the dealer world from what I can see. It's break fix technology. You've got techs that go into the field. It's something that's in most people's offices already in one way or another. T what is it about these printers? This isn't just a this isn't some device that just goes into a production print environment or some, real unique. This is everywhere, right?
This is a massive opportunity for dealers, massive, because every dealer that has a print audit or some type of data collection software, FM audit, whatever they have, if they run an unmanaged asset report and filter it by, let's just say, Zebra, they're going to see an enormous amount of thermal machines on their existing customer networks. You talk about, and dealers talk a lot about an adjacent business. This isn't even adjacent. This is the dealer business. It's print. Dealers are experts in print. Toshiba bridges that gap with MFPs and thermal within the dealer community. So we speak dealer and we speak thermal barcode.
Well, it just seems such a natural fit, and it's kind of funny. You run that report, and it might be something that you've seen over and over and ignored as a dealer, for years.
Right.
But if you really thought about, all the Zebra devices that come up in all these, there's reports that you run, and I don't care which system you're using, those that software is going to find those devices, right? This is someone else that's in your account. Someone else is supporting your account. And we're in this world of diversification where print volumes are they're in decline. Every meeting I go to, and certainly every meeting you go to, I'm sure is all about, what else can we do as dealers? What can we bring to the dealers in your case, that is in line with what they're already doing, where they can continue to, to work with customers, provide them products and services. And this, to me, this is just such a natural, right? So,
It's
um,
such a natural.
when
You know,
you do these reports, how do these what do you find? Like they just show up as network devices? Like how do you
they appear as unmanaged assets. So we see the model, we see the brand, the model, and in many cases, we also see the volume. What I'll tell you we see most often is that they're 10-year-old or more Zebra devices. They're security threats, they're gaps. Many don't have service agreements on them. So customers are telling us that they're looking for an alternative to Zebra. They're coming to us telling us that. The dealers at the show are telling me they've been meaning to look into this. That was the most common thing I heard at the BTA show. Well, marry those two together, the opportunity is massive, massive to take over in your existing accounts. Now, think about accounts you don't have. If you're selling MPS today, this is an MPS play as well, because we can take over the service of the Zebras or the competitive equipment. And then over time, we can service them. And over time, we can replace them with Toshibas. This is a service-led approach that everyone knows about. Think of MPS 20 years ago when we said people were walking by laser printers all day long. Now they're on contracts. Well, I'm saying the same thing with thermal printers. You're walking by them all day long. Let's put them on a contract.
That's a great analogy. And when you step back and think of it, I hadn't even considered the MPS part of this, that, these are unmanaged, unprotected, unsecured devices in many cases, especially the older ones, but they are on the network, right? So that's a vulnerability. And, as that product ages, it's probably not getting security updates. Nobody is coming and making sure that. So it fits right into your talk track. And it is an MPS account, like walking past that laser printer. It's funny you say that. I never would have thought about it like that, but it really is. If you run that report and you've got a two or three or four of these things on there and they're a few years old, if that customer, I would imagine that customer is, not buying because they're 2 years into a 5-year lease, right? Well, there's your plan B. Hey, what are you doing about these? You're always looking for something else you can sell that customer. So I saw you at that BTA, and you were there. You're not just there recruiting Toshiba, right? You're recruiting anybody, any dealer can sell this. This is a different type of relationship. Am I right?
That's right, Andy. So we want to make it easy for dealers to take advantage of this opportunity. So it's a very minimal upfront investment, but better than that, you don't have to be a fully authorized Toshiba dealer to be a thermal dealer. So we provide a thermal only authorization to any dealer that would like to participate. I mean, after going through our process. So it's open to everybody, no matter what your vendor relationships are today. This is a completely non-threatening program. This helps you add, and as you said, if you get the Heisman on someone's in the second year of a 5-year MPS deal, ask them what they do for labels. Come in the side door. This is the approach. This is the approach. Take it one step further.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on an MPS RFP and you can get the customer to add thermal to that RFP, if you're with Toshiba, you have effectively knocked out all the competition, because all of the major OEMs do not sell, do not provide, but we do.
It's a great way to box another company out. Everybody knows if you write that RFP, you're in the driver's seat. And when you can drop something in like this, where you're probably one of the only companies that sell this technology, you kind of write your own ticket at that point, because there's just nobody else who has all of these, all the different things under one roof.
Everybody knows in the BTA world, Toshiba is an easy to do business with company. Well, it's the same way with thermal. We make it real easy. To get started with us is very simple as well. We have a turnkey program that will onboard you we'll give you product for your showroom, product to demo with customers. We'll give you sales training, on-site service training. We give you 2 lead lists in your territory and a free Kate Kingston marketing session. So we'll teach you about the equipment. We'll teach your service people how to service it. We'll teach your salespeople how to sell it. And we'll even give them lead lists to get started. All of that comes with our onboarding package. So soup to nuts. So after the dealer does that one-step process, just run the report, see what's in your own patch. Just give us a call. We want to get started with you. I promise you, any dealer that does this will be amazed at the number of thermal printers. I just put a LinkedIn out yesterday. Do you know how many packages have just shipping labels on them a day? It's between 45 and 60 million packages a day, print shipping labels per day. That doesn't include hospitals or retail or logistics companies. This is just shipping labels. So every day that we don't take advantage of this opportunity, we're letting somebody else capture print volumes.
Well, and it's just such a it's such it just fits right into what we already do. You're providing the hardware, the service, the supplies, you've got aftermarket, you've got the substrate that and you just it's just exactly like what you're already doing. Um, After watching this, if I was a dealer, I would absolutely go back. If I was a sales rep, go back into your account and just see what's in there. Just run that report. You probably have that report for most of your accounts, anyone you're running MPS on. So just out of curiosity, I would look at it just to see how many zebras I've got in there. And I'm going to guess that, you know, dealers who are looking to diversify, this is probably a little bit less expensive than moving into, high-end production, right? Where you've got to, that's a very different spend right there. You've got to pay for that equipment. You've got to pay a different kind of technician. And the training it's so this is if you're looking for something easy that you can just sort of slide into, this might be what one of the things you should consider. As far as reps, when you see dealers rolling this out, you mentioned Kate Kingston, which we just did another call yesterday. She was on it with ConnectWise. She's everywhere, but master salesperson, right? So is she training specialists on this? Is she training everybody? This is how just another quill and arrow in the quill. Like what's how do dealers sell this?
We are training our our internal TBS squad, and we're training every dealer that takes advantage of the onboarding package. So the it's included as well as the equipment, the showroom signage, all the things I mentioned, the on-site service training, on-site BDMs, our BDMs come in, and all of that package. When I say a minimal investment, it's a $10,000 investment, and you have every a device from mobile, portable to desktop and industrial. You have two sets of everything for your showroom, for your back office training. And then the lead lists, and Kate puts it right over the top to get started. That's just getting started. I didn't even mention yet kind of the icing on the cake that I think dealers are going to get real excited about, which is we have just developed a cost per label program.
Ah,
A cost per label program,
CPL.
CPL. Now, what's really cool about CPL is the amount of revenue per device. Because when you start including labels, the accounts that we've done this with so far, the revenue per device exceeds that of a mono and even a color copier. And I'm only talking
Say that
about
one more
the
time.
post.
Say that
I'm,
one more
I'm
time.
talking about the post sale.
Yeah.
The post sale revenue per device
Hmm.
on our CPL program is greater than what we see in our mono and color MFPs. The revenue is unbelievable with the CPL program because of the labels, primarily. We're including labels, we're including print heads. So, another unique thing from Toshiba to entice dealers to get into this program, because when you sell cost per label, you've totally cleared the field.
Yeah. Yeah. And you tie that into a program where they can be making monthly payments and it's all packaged together and you show up to fix it, by the way. Um, so we did mention, this is something that is in every office, and you're going to go back after watching this video and you're going to find all these devices. But let's take it a step further. I like selling these things. Um, who am I targeting? You mentioned healthcare. That's an easy one, right? Healthcare, there's labels everywhere. What are some of the other environments that are label, we'll call them label rich?
Yeah, so we look at, say, four primary categories, which are retail, healthcare, logistics, transportation, and compliance. So that would be any kind of labeling. I'll give you a good example. in hospitals, all the little uh, samples, the blood samples that are put in those little tubes, each one requires a label. Very labor intensive hospitals between specimen labels, visitor badges, and wristbands, an enormous market. Retail has all kinds of barcode type stickers. And remember, this is also morphing into the QR codes or 2D printing, right? So QR codes, which provide customers with so much information. Guess what? That's thermal printing, same device.
Amazing. Amazing. I didn't, it's just one of these industries, and I guess a lot of people who aren't in copiers and printers think of it probably the same way, but it's just right under your nose. It's in there.
Yeah.
You walk by it every time you're in and out of a customer account. And Marc Theman's the guy to talk to if you're watching this video and you want to learn a little bit more. We're going to put some contact information in about you and tell us a little bit, any last things before we wind this down.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll call thermal theming right here.
Ah, Thermal Theman. Yes. Yes.
Okay, we got our thermal Thursday LinkedIn posts every day to keep up. Uh, this opportunity, I've been in the industry a long time, Andy. You hear how excited I am about this?
You are excited. You are excited. And
Such
it's
an
hard to get
exciting,
excited about products because we've seen the same thing for year in, year out. And
right.
this is sort of a newer area for our world.
We go to the BTA shows, and each vendor tells you why they're better than the next. But we're going to talk about at the next BTA show again. We're going to stick with our thermal strategy. We're going to help the dealers expand their revenues and profits in their existing accounts and in new accounts with our thermal program. And when I say thermal, I mean barcode printing, label printing. We didn't even talk about receipt printing, which is also something that we do. Imagine all of the big opportunities with receipt printing in hospitality in particular.
Well, I'm sure you've got some incredibly well-known accounts that you can share with dealers if they'd like to hear who's using this technology. Um, if you want to hear from Marc, we will get his contact information. We're going to put it below this video, and we hope you enjoyed watching it. Marc, thanks so much for coming on today. This has been awesome.
Thanks, Andy. Really happy to be here.
Great seeing you. Take care.